Hey guys, Crystal Grace here. Welcome back to another pick a card reading, or in this case, pick a crock plug. This video is all about what is surprising people about you at this time. So we have three piles to choose from. Pile number 1, bananas. Pile number 2, a rose. And pile number 3, a pineapple. So take a moment to connect with one of these crock plugs and we will jump into it. Before we do that, I just want to acknowledge here is one of Sweetie's whiskers. So never seen one of her whiskers off her face before, so maybe there is some good luck here. I can't remember what it means when you find a cat whisker, but if you know, let us know down in the comments. Might keep that like her baby hair. Quick disclaimer why you are connecting with one of the plugs. If a message begins to put you in a downward spiral, please trust I do not conjure negative messages or energies to ruin your day or your life. Opt off the reading and, trust that, the reading is not for you today. So with that said, let's jump into it. Let's find out, how are you currently surprising people? Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the bananas. So I think about bananas, I think they're affiliated with vitamin D, potassium as well. A lot of you may like banana on toast, maybe like banana smoothies. But that Gwen Stefani song about bananas, I can't really remember it, so I'm not going to sit here and try and sing it. Too early in the morning for that. But you may have simply just chose this crock plug because you simply like the color yellow as well here. So we have, jumping straight out, the south node here. So some of you could have had the south node Libra. We have Leo, the sun. I don't know, I think Leo there for some reason, thinking about tarot and the sun card. We have 12th house, which is Pisces. We have Libras. We have sun. I'm hang on here. I don't know, it's probably too early in the morning. We do have two 12th houses, so strong Pisces, Leo, the sun, because Leo is affiliated with the sun. I don't know why having a moment here. We're asking the question like, what is surprising people at the moment? I feel like, the 12th house is affiliated with dreams, secrets, like spiritual realizations, escapism and grief. But the vibe, it talks about hidden selves, bad habits, bad habit patterns. But the vibe I'm really picking up here with the other sign placements, Cancerians do have a strong sense of daydreaming. I feel like there must have been like a spiritual realization occur for you, which maybe has surprised other people. Maybe it's triggered other people to have a spiritual realization, more of an awakening. But there is a secret, is what I feel is what's surprising people about you. And for others of you, I feel like your dreams surprise people, like the dreams that you have in place. And I think a lot of you conquer your dreams. So, All right, let's find out, how is pile 1 surprising people? Ace of Wands. The High Priestess. There is some boobs there. Nine of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. And Page of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. That's terrible, isn't it? Let's pop that up there. So a quick shout out on the sign placements. The High Priestess, we have Cancerian, so we saw that with the Astro dice. We've got Aries with the Emperor. What else do we have here? Just do this. So Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. We've also got the Ace of Wands, so fire, and swords, air elements. But yeah, look, please don't get fixated on the sign placements. If yours doesn't come up, it could be affiliating your like your moon signs, right? Or your rising sign, Mercury, Mars, or Venus. So how are you surprising people? I don't know, like he seems like he's very much taking control of that sword, like grasping onto it, but there's also a lot of mess around it. So maybe a lot of you, like the Emperor is a very action orientated card. It's a card that tells me people could be quite surprised about some type of structure or stability you have recently like obtained. I feel like how you could be surprising people overall is how you are finally maybe taking accountability for your actions. Maybe you're taking accountability for the course of the actions that unfold, like you're processing things in a more mature manner these days, as opposed to maybe previously you sort of reacted before you, like you would act before you would think, like you would, there seems to be a new level of maturity now when you are dealing with difficult situations, is what I feel is your like main theme here with the Emperor coming out, pile one. Like you're taking a more structured and logical approach in your relationships, in your career, in your finances. You are really processing the situation or the actions you need to take before you actually take them. And I feel like this is what's really surprising people. Your level of maturity has definitely changed. It's jumped from like 10 to 100 is sort of the vibe. And I think from this, people are really surprised about how dependable you are now. And they feel that you are more dependable because they know you've given a lot of thought into a situation before you go jump into it. So yeah, I think that's quite a positive start to the reading. So let's jump into the spread. The Ace of Wands, you are surprising people in regards to your level of creativity here. I definitely feel like you have recently had some kind of creative spark of enthusiasm towards maybe a side project, a hobby, or a career. Either way, your inspiration, you feeling passionate, has someone or some people very surprised about you. Maybe they're quite surprised to learn you have a creative project that you do spend a lot of time and energy on. And I feel like this is really inspiring those people around you. You could have recently had a new passion. So they might have been aware that you had some kind of hobby prior that you spent a lot of time, but they're surprised about a new passion, something that you're doing, spending more energy and time on. So it could be like the same kind of hobby, but you sort of branching off into something else. And people are very surprised by this because you're very confident at what you do. They're surprised about the confidence you have in a hobby that you do that might make you seem to stand out amongst like a group of people. You are following some sort of destiny, some kind of path. And I feel like for a lot of you, this surprises a lot of people. The High Priestess would kind of tell me maybe a lot of you have picked this pile has something to do with this hobby. You could be tarot readers here with this one coming out. It's a witchy woo-woo card. But this side hobby, she is displaying her body quite openly here. So maybe your side hobby has something to do with like utilizing your body to monetize it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Each to their own, as long as it's safe and it's not affecting your confidence, which I don't think it would be with the Ace of Wands coming out. Either way, the High Priestess tells me or confirms for me that people are very surprised about your what's the best way? They're surprised about your desires and what you focus on is what I feel. So whatever that may be, that's going to be very different for all of you. Like, what Jane from America is focusing on is going to be very different to what, Joseph from Beirut, India, or somewhere like that, it's going to be very different, right? So just take it as it resonates. But the High Priestess also tells me that people are very surprised about your spirituality or your religion here. They're very surprised about how connected you are to a higher power. Maybe you are very thirsty for knowledge, okay? And people are very surprised about how you are always willing to be learning new things about the occult. Either way, the High Priestess definitely represents people are very surprised about your witchy woo-woo. So I would have to say a lot of you have picked this pile. You are very open about your spirituality. You're very open about leaning on your intuition to navigate life. You listen to your guides, you listen to your inner voice. And you're very focused on that. And I feel like people are very surprised to learn that a lot of your dreams and wishes come true when we think about the 12th house energy. Like when you tell people your dreams and they come true, I feel like they sort of lean towards this High Priestess understanding. And what surprises them is like, pile one has these dreams. You might hear about it, and then years later, pile one is achieving those dreams, and it's because they listen to their guides, or they follow their intuition, blah blah blah, is sort of the vibe I get, which I think it's great. I think you guys would make great advocates to educate people on tapping into their intuition if you are not already doing something like that. So Nine of Pentacles, amazing. I feel like when people, once they get to know you, they're quite surprised about how abundant you are. Like they're also quite surprised about how much you've achieved here. I feel like if you are single, people are very surprised to learn you are very single. And I feel like, Nine of Pentacles is about material security, somebody being very successful. So you may not dress like you are oozing success. And it's those conversations, when people have conversations with you, they realize how successful you are. And I feel like you don't match what you're actually worth, is what I'm hearing. So that catches people, like that makes people quite surprised about you, that you don't go around throwing your money around. You are very conservative with your money. You do look like you earn enough, but I think people get quite surprised to learn that you earn a lot more than what you look like you earn, is sort of the vibe I get with this Nine of Pentacles. Like you've got a lot to give in when it would come to a relationship, when it would come to a career. And I think a lot of people are quite surprised to learn that you are not married or not got a family. You could be surrounded by pets here with the crows in the air. But I kind of see the crows as a spiritual affiliation here. So people could be quite surprised to learn that your abundance has come from your spiritual gifts. Your abundance could come from the other side in some way, shape or form. Maybe you get really lucky in obtaining money, is what I hear, or at least what some people get surprised to learn about you. Seven of Pentacles would tell me people get surprised about maybe the level of growth you have obtained to this date. So this could be more about people from your past. They're quite surprised to learn that, you are now reaping the fruits of your labor. You are now harvesting everything you planted. So maybe a few years ago you said, I'm going to do this. and you are actually doing it, you've reached that goal, or at least they've seen that. I think your level of patience surprises people because you are a very action-oriented person. They might see you in a state of like sitting and waiting. And you probably have waited a long time to achieve some of your goals and dreams. And I feel like, coming back to that secrets, people are quite surprised that you don't share all your goals and dreams. They just appear and they arrive, and then people learn that you've achieved something. You've received some kind of reward from your hard work, okay? And I think this surprises a lot of people. I think you have a lot of friends around you, and what surprises these people is that they end up falling for you quite easily. And I think you would have a lot of friends that would like to turn into lovers, which again catches people off guard a lot, because you're not the everyday kind of person. I think you're quite unique. So you're probably not everyone's cup of tea, but the more they spend time with you, I think they become very fond of you, and start like being enamored or adoring you or whatnot. And I think this surprises them, that they catch feelings with somebody that is so different to anyone that they have dated or been in a relationship with before. And then to close out your reading with the Page of Swords, what surprises people about you? There's some way, like how you communicate. You might surprise people with your very witty, energetic energy. You could be a person that you're sort of like on the verge of the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords can say very like, sarcastic sort of impulsive sort of language or something like that is what I'm picking up. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. But people might you could be quite sarcastic, and I think that's what it is. I think people get quite surprised to learn that you kind of navigate life. You may navigate problems or like shitty situations in a very sarcastic manner, and that just might throw them off guard a little bit when they see how successful you are in like dreams. I feel like the Page of Swords, I'm getting sort of like not like an immature energy, but people might be surprised to learn, like, if people start like maybe petty arguments with you or start some kind of conflict, they might result in bigger conflicts because you don't sort of take people's crap. Like, you will give back sarcasm to people who sort of deserve it. And I think this catches people off surprise. They may think you are a sort of a pushover maybe. So that could be where this is coming from. I feel like you don't have an issue being rude to people who have been rude to you, is sort of the gist I get there with that Page of Swords. But that is what I have for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if that resonated. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the rose, so some of you, that Kiss from a Rose Seal song is coming through. Some of you may like roses. You might like yellow roses. There seems to be a bit of a yellow theme here with the other piles, but yeah, a red rose is a symbol of love or a romantic sense. So some of you could be like, hopeless romantics. You may like receiving flowers. You might like giving flowers. But I feel like you guys have a very big heart, is what I feel. When I think about the yellow rose, it is a symbol of friendship. So it kind of gives me the impression a lot of you, you're really good friends to have, is what I feel. I also feel like you could already be in a relationship here, or maybe you are like looking for love, or maybe you're hoping for love is the vibe I pick. So what we have here, we've got some Aries. We have Gemini with the 3rd house. We have Virgo with the 6th house, which I've just flipped that over to the 1st house. I'll bear that in, what was that? The 6th house, sorry. Which is, where is the number 6? Neptune. So Pisces exalted in Leo. And then we have, is it Mars? Mars is Aries, exalted in Capricorn. And then we have Leo. Okay. So thinking about the houses that have come out. So we have the house of communication with the third house and the house of routine. Some of you could be doing a lot of reading and writing at this time. Maybe some of you are really trying to understand your communication patterns, you know, like how you write messages, maybe sort of analyzing maybe how you need to take longer to respond to messages. Maybe you're you're reading something on how to write messages, how to be more like, how to handle confrontation more. Like if you're not doing that, it might be something that's just happening in the subconscious. It might be recently like you're realizing when you write messages, they're not coming across the way you intended them to. For others of you with the sixth house coming out here, there could be a focus on health and diet and wellness here. It's taking a big role or taking a main focus in your life at this time, is sort of the vibe I'm picking up. So doesn't have to be that, but that's just something that was coming through. All right, let's jump into it. Let's find out how is pile 2 surprising people. 10 of Cups, nice. 6 of Pentacles. The Chariot. 3 of Swords. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So there is a strong message I'm getting here. I'm just going to like talk about it. I feel like thinking back to this energy with the Rose about like you being a very good friend here. Like I think what's surprising people about you is your level of forgiveness. You know, I think you are a person that has endured a lot of bad friendships is what I think here with the 3 of Swords and the Chariot. Like I feel like you've had a lot of friends try and sink your ship. I feel like you've had a lot of friends try and emotionally manipulate you, steal your thunder, you know, breadcrumb you, like sort of make you beg for their time and attention here. And yeah, I feel like you, like this Fool gives me hermit vibes. So I kind of feel like for a lot of you, you're stepping out of that energy to allow that nature, to allow that behavior upon you is what I feel. I think people are really surprised to learn that you've had a lot of, you know, 3 of Swords moments with friendships, maybe with family members as well. I think it surprises a lot of people to learn that you've endured a lot of like emotionally immature connections. Yet you still remain to be a person who navigates life from a place of love and hope, is the download that I'm specifically getting there for you guys. But yeah, quick shout out on sign placements. With the Fool here, we have Uranus, and then with the Chariot, we have the Cancerians. We've got Cups, Swords, and Pentacles, so earth, air, and water. So jumping into it. The Fool, how are you surprising people? There's nothing about the imagery on this card that tells me that this person is like naive or foolish in any way. Like, this person looks like they're traveling. This person looks like they are on some type of adventure, and they're on an adventure with their animals here. So I kind of feel like what people are surprised about you, or to learn about you recently, maybe you've recently decided that you're going to live your life very differently to those around you. So you're not aiming for the white picket fence and the kids and stuff. You are on a different path to those around you, is what I feel. And I think this is catching people off surprise. I feel like for a lot of you had an opportunity for a new beginning, and you've chosen a more original plan for yourself, something that is very different to the social norm, is what I'm hearing. For some of you, people could be quite surprised to learn that there's a new opportunity upon you, and you're saying yes to it. I feel like maybe a lot of you have been stuck in the mundane, doing the same old thing, thinking about that 6th house energy. And all of a sudden it's like you've woken up one day and you're like, I'm going to do something different. And that's what I feel like a lot of people are surprised about you. You could be pulling your energy back from people who have hurt you. I feel like for a lot of you, you still remain friends with people who have hurt you. You still remain supportive for family members who have hurt you, who created obstacles for you, who breadcrumbed you. You do have a knack to forgive and forget, or maybe this is a very strong imagery here, and I just kind of feel like a lot of people around you know that you will forgive them for their bad behavior, for their absence, and you are the bigger person in your life, like when it comes to your relationships, and those people around you are very lucky that you are that forgiving. I want you to know that, pole too. So it's no one can tell you when to end a connection and when not to. Like, that's totally entirely up to you. But yeah, I definitely feel like there is some kind of new beginning you're embarking on, and people are very surprised that maybe you are finally pulling your energy away. Like, maybe you're finally choosing you as opposed to choosing them. The 10 of Cups would tell me how people are surprised, how you're surprising people at the moment, is that you are finally choosing your own happiness. You are finally choosing your own fulfillment. You're not relying on other people or things to fill your cups. You could be spending more time in a sisterhood here, and people are very surprised by that. You could be pulling your energy towards some kind of I don't want to say cult, because that's not the right word. Cult, there's such stigma around cults. Some cults are really good for people, and other cults can have people to go and kill people. Like, it's fucking crazy, a cult. But there's also this essence for some of you. You could be doing some kind of commitment towards something that's going to be long term. Now, it could be in regards to a relationship, not really picking up on that. I feel like people are surprised about a new level of commitment you have to a long-term project that's going to bring you a lot of happiness, is what I feel. And I feel like it's going to bring a lot of financial security and stability, and people are very surprised about your new recent adventure that you are going to go on. That's going to be quite fruitful for you. The 6 of Pentacles tells me it just reiterates this energy of some kind of success coming your way. And it could have something to do with work here. But people could be surprised to learn how generous you are, how giving you are of your time. I feel you're very supportive in all your relationships. And again, this is reiterating that energy I initially picked up before jumping into the sign placements, is that people are very surprised to learn that they can do stuff to you and you forgive them. And I don't know, I have to flag that because it's very toxic energy to be around that. But maybe you're there to be people's life lessons, that forgiving and forgetting is actually, a blessing to be able to do that, as opposed to holding on to things and being bitter and a shit person and trying to be vengeful against those who have hurt you. You do not obtain those traits, is what I feel. And I feel like that's what surprises people about you. You don't try and get people back. You allow the universe to, step in for you and navigate that karma, if that's what's intended. They're very surprised about how kind and loving you are, even though when people have hurt you. Even though when people put obstacles in your way, people are very surprised to learn that it doesn't affect your true nature. It doesn't change you into a horrible, bitty bitter person is sort of what I feel. The Chariot definitely tells me that people again are very surprised about some kind of success you've had, especially after overcoming all the obstacles you've endured. So people could be maybe like talking or gossiping about things that have happened to you, how people have treated you, how much loss you've endured. And they're very surprised to learn that that has not allowed to impact, your victorious moments. That has not allowed to impact, that you haven't allowed that to impact your focus or your control to conquer your goals and your dreams, is what I feel with this Chariot. Like, people try and sink your ship and you find a way to keep it afloat. You are a swimmer, not a sinker, is what I think a lot of people get surprised about, especially with people who try and maybe bring you down. They see that they can't bring you down. You're very stable in your energy. And that's probably taken a lot of negative experiences to unfold for you to be able to be that person, to be able to for things to just ricochet off you. When people throw stuff at you, you're at that level now, that spiritual level, for it to ricochet back, and you sort of just keep carrying on with your day. You accept that people are who they are, and there's nothing you can do to change that. I think people are very surprised that they can't rock your boat anymore, is what I feel with the Chariot. So the Three of Swords tells me people could be quite surprised either to learn about the grief and the loss and the heartbreak you've endured, or they could be quite surprised to learn that they can no longer impose grief, loss and trauma on you. Okay, so take that as it resonates. So some of you already have released these people, and others of you, these people are still around you. I feel like people are quite surprised to watch you separate yourself from arguments quite quickly now. They're surprised to see that when you see conflict unfolding, you don't react this. I don't know if it's you don't react that same way anymore, or it's if conflicts I've got it now. I feel like people are surprised to learn that when you're faced with conflict, whether it's in friendships or romantic relationships, you break it up. You break up with them. You end the connection now. And those people are surprised to learn that they're the ones who sit within their tears and their heartaches. So you may still attract people who try and manipulate you and use you. I feel like you are very you're very aware now of this pile too. So what surprises these people is you break up with people before they break up with you. You break up with people soon as you see that there is a struggle or conflict happening, or they are trying to rock your boat. You're breaking up with people before they're actually able to fully roll out their plans to maybe conquer you, is what I feel. So you must be quite attractive, I would have to say, for this sort of energy to come through. You may have a lot of people who see you as a conquest. And naturally, when you are highly attractive, you're going to have these sorts of people who want to come in, rock your boat, pull you down from your own pedestal, and sort of keep you for their own. And I think for a lot of you, people are quite surprised to learn that they can't do that to you anymore. You've worked really hard to put yourself up on that emotional pedestal, and they can't pull you down anymore. And I think a lot of people are quite surprised by that. So I don't know what environment you're in for this energy to be coming through. If you feel comfortable to share it in the comments, please do. And then to close out your reading with the Page of Cups, I just to be honest, I just feel like people are quite surprised to see that you're not as naive as they thought you were. You're not as innocent as they thought you were, because I do feel like with that ricocheting energy, when it ricochets back to them, I think it bowls them over. I see people falling to the floor. When they come for you, what comes for them is it's quite devilish, to be honest. And I feel like that's not you. That's just your strong spirit team, like stepping in and protecting you. I think a lot of you are at your happiest when you're tapping into your creativity here with the Page of Cups. And I think people are very surprised to learn that you are very creative. Like whatever you set your mind to, you can actually achieve. And this surprises people because I think they see how you look and think that you don't have the smarts that you have. They see, you know, there is this stigma, like if you're really pretty, then you don't have the brains, right? If you're really handsome, you don't have the brains. And I think this is what surprises people. You have literally everything to offer. Like, you know, you're a triple threat is sort of the vibe I'm getting. But that's what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile 3, lucky last, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the pineapple, you may like to eat pineapple. You might be sweet like pineapple. You might like to drink pineapple and ginger together for some reason. You might like a tropical place. You might like to take vacations in nice warm weather. Some of you could have a pink or a blue streak in your hair is what I feel. I kind of feel like you're larger than life energy here is what I think. I just think you're very fun to be around, maybe the life of the party here. Yeah, you might have like a fringe as well here is what I'm picking up. You might have, your favorite color might be yellow. All right, so what do we got here? Ooh, doubles. All right, so we have the 12th house, Pisces energy. We have Scorpio. We have, Scorpio again, so double Scorpio. And then we have Mercury twice. So strong Gemini and Virgo. And then we have Cancerian, so the 69. Some of you might like a 69er. Definitely not my go-to thing in the bedroom. It's not for me. I just don't get it. But each to their own. Some of you may love it. Maybe some of you resonate with me and think, oh no. Okay, maybe you've got a really quirky sense of humor when it comes to, you know, sex here. Like the 8th house is about transformation. It deals with all sorts of taboo topics. So sex, intimacy. So the fact that I kind of tapped into that, I think a lot of you are very maybe open about your intimacy, or maybe you're very closed off about your intimacy. So take that as it resonates. You know, it can talk about birth and death here. Obviously transformation when we think about the death card. So yeah, and then thinking about the 12th house, it's one that talks about secrets, dreams, and endings. Our hidden selves. So maybe like recently, maybe you are exploring different like intimate moments here with somebody. For some of you, for others of you, maybe you're wanting to explore a different sexual side to yourself, right? So there could be this strong, like there's a reason why I went to the 69. Like there's, you know, I don't just every time I see the Cancerian symbol think 69. Maybe that's not entirely true, but yeah. So let's jump straight into it. Let's find out. Let's find out. How are you surprising people? There's the devil. There's this. So we have 4 of Wands, the devil, the Hierophant, the Queen of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups. What's on the bottom? With the 10 of Pentacles. You know, the vibe I get here is like you're very much surprising people about like what is it? For some of you are in a relationship, right? And I feel like for some of you, you could be exploring like, you know, sexual behavior within your connection. Maybe you're talking about that, and that's what people are quite surprised. But I also feel like a lot of you are single, okay? And a lot of people, what's surprising them about you is that there is a lot of interest. Some of you could be in a third party situation here. But quick shout out on sign placements here. We have strong Capricorn with the Devil, strong Taurus with the Hierophant. We've got Wands, Pentacles, and Cups. So that's fire, earth, and water. All right. So 10 of Pentacles, how are you surprising people? It could be the fact that, I got two messages here. For some of you, really surprising people because you're very goal orientated, you're very dependable and loyal. And what they're saying is that your manifestations match with your ambitions. Girls, stop fighting. They never fight. I don't know why they do that. Like, I don't know who... Shay just likes to wrestle, and she's a lot bigger than Sweetie, and I think Sweetie's like, get off me, you chunky monkey. But yeah, okay. So back to you guys. Yeah, I feel like, you know, yeah, I just feel like your manifestations match with your ambition. Like, people are quite surprised, like, maybe they're surprised that you are so goal orientated when you don't really have to be. And what that kind of means for me is people are kind of surprised to learn that maybe you don't have to work as hard as you do. Maybe you don't have to be as goal orientated as you are, because you could be somewhat privileged here. So don't take that as an insult. Some of you could have received some kind of inheritance, some kind of money windfall. So people are surprised to learn that you haven't allowed some kind of monetary assets to prevent you from continuing working towards your goals and your dreams, is what I feel. I think a lot of you may not have to work. It could be because you're married to somebody who doesn't require you to work, or it could be that you come from a family where it doesn't require you to work. If that doesn't resonate, I would just feel like people are surprised about you in the fact that, because we do have the Hierophant here, and there seems to be a romantic sort of like energy around your pile, people could be surprised to learn that like you will only date people that your family approve as well. Like, you will not go into long-term relationships. You will not settle down with people unless you receive family approval. Okay, people could be quite surprised to learn you're actually going into a relationship with somebody where their family has to approve you. So take that as it resonates, because I know like some of you live in those countries where you do pre-arranged marriages. So naturally, I think when I assume, and my apologies for assuming, that you know, if you are getting a pre-arranged marriage organized for you, your mother and father are going to try and arrange one that's going to put you in a financially better state, right? Because yeah, well, I would hope so anyway. But each to their own. So that's sort of what I'm picking up with the 10 of Pentacles. Now, the 4 of Wands in regards to how you are surprising people. Maybe this is sort of suggesting, maybe some of you went to some kind of reunion, some kind of celebration, and what surprised people at this celebration or this reunion is maybe how you either found love. Okay, so some of you could be in I'm sorry, I'm finding this pile very hard to connect with, and I think it's because there's some of you who are in committed relationships and others of you are very single. So just bear with me for being annoying. But I feel like for the 4 of Wands, like either how you found love. People are surprised how you found love or how you are looking for love with the Four of Wands here. But they look like they're walking down an aisle. Some people could be surprised how you're married, how your wedding day unfolded. Like maybe your mum did walk you down the aisle, not your father. People are quite surprised to learn about that. Maybe they weren't aware that you and your father were not talking for some of you. Either way, something happened at an exciting time, like an exciting celebration. So not like a funeral, but like a wedding, an engagement party. It could have been yours, somebody else's, and people were very surprised about something to do with either your partner or like how you are planning on finding a partner or settling down is what I'm picking up with the Four of Wands. Other ways we can look at the Four of Wands in regards to how you're surprising people is that you're very supportive of colleagues, I think. And I feel like for some of you, you may have colleagues who aren't as supportive of you, okay? And I feel like people could be quite surprised to learn that you have created a very positive work environment. So this could be like your boss is quite surprised to see how your energy has changed the work environment is what I feel with the Four of Wands. So I'm going to keep it moving. So the Devil would indicate some kind of obsession that catches people off guard or makes them surprised about you. You could have an addiction to some kind of material asset. You could have an addiction to maybe sex because that was a theme in the beginning. So people could be quite surprised to learn that your secret has an affiliation with an addiction that you have to something that of taboo, right? So some of you could be addicted to sex. Maybe you're addicted to watching like, naughty videos or something like that. People, when they learn this, is quite surprised by it. Other aspects of the Devil, I feel like, and this is for the single people, obviously, people could be quite surprised that you're only interested in hookups, and lusting, lustful kind of connections. Like you're happy to have sex without love. And, maybe they're surprised by this because they see that as you're a dangerous love interest because you're not actually interested in a relationship. You're just sort of interested in exploring your sexual desires here. So again, remember there's lots of people watching this, so not all messages are going to correlate to your situation. But I can understand if you are not a very sexual person, how this could be triggering for you. So my apologies, but I just say what comes out and that's just how we roll here. It's not to upset anyone. But yeah, there's some kind of obsession that you have that surprises people. And again, that's going to be very different for all of you. The Hierophant as a surprise. I'm kind of being drawn back to some kind of institution, but it's also a card that talks about marriage. People are definitely surprised how you got married or how you're going to get married or how you plan to get married. I feel like people are surprised about your beliefs. Like maybe there's an institution you're affiliated with and people are very surprised that you're like connected to some kind of organization that doesn't seem like you. Maybe you have joined an institution because of your partner, because of who you married into. Like say, for some people, if they marry into a religion, they normally have to convert. So people could be surprised to learn that you're no longer like, a Catholic, you're now a Jew because your partner is a Jew. That sort of vibe is what I'm picking up. Or maybe they're just surprised that you would convert for the right person, okay? For the right marriage, for the right, life or union, you would convert. You're open to that, and people are very surprised to learn that. And I think you share a lot of what your beliefs are, what your morals are, what you bring to the table. There's some thing here around knowledge sharing with the Hierophant. So people are very surprised to learn the things that you're willing to do for maybe love, okay? For the right person. And I think that's quite nice, when you do find the one, and you're prepared to make changes in order to have a lasting relationship. I think that's very nice, as long as they do the same for you. Queen of Pentacles as how you are surprising people. I don't know, I kind of feel like if you are single, again, people are quite surprised with how selective you are with your partner. Like, you know, you deserve the best. So maybe if you are exploring like a sexual experiences and not being like committed to anyone, maybe that is why this Queen of Pentacles has come out, because you are very selective with who you plan on settling down with. I think people are quite, they may have heard about you, pile three, but they think they know you, but it's not until they have a conversation with you that they're quite surprised to see that you are a Queen of Pentacles. You know, you're very practical, you're very down to earth, you're very sensible. So people may have painted you to be quite reckless and foolish, but in fact, you're very motherly, you're very generous, you're very sensible and nurturing. So maybe what catches people like by surprise with you is that you know how to work hard but also play hard. Like, you may be this like person who goes off and, you know, allows their inner child to like navigate some kind of adventure, but you know when to like get off that train or get off that path and follow like some kind of stable task or something like that. I don't really know how to explain that, but you have a lot of love to give, and I think this is what surprises people, especially if they see you as somebody who's flirty and ready to party, and then they see that actually no, like, you're just waiting for the right person. You're very good in business. There's something you do surrounding work, and people are very surprised. So I don't know, you could be like I said, the life of the party, and it just really throws people off to learn how stable and secure you are. You're very confident with what you bring to the table. And I think this surprises people because they may hear different things about you. And I feel like the Nine of Cups, to wrap up your reading, flows on from the Queen of Pentacles. Like, I feel like what surprises people is like, thinking about how you may have a lot of suitors, is like after people get to learn all the different aspects of you, I feel like you become a wish fulfillment for them. You know, they begin to obtain some sort of feelings for you. I feel like they're very drawn to how comfortable they feel in your energy. They're very content in your energy. And for other ways to look at the Nine of Cups, what maybe makes people surprised about you is that you're very content in your life. Like, you're very content being single. Everything you own because of you, okay? And that kind of comes back to that Ten of Pentacles energy. Like, you could lean on your family, but you don't. I feel with the Nine of Cups, you pursue your own success, and that brings you a lot of satisfaction. So your success and financial abundance has come from you following your dreams, you know, your wishes coming true, you being content with what you've got and taking what you've got and turning it into something bigger and better is what I feel. And I think a lot of people are just surprised by you. You could have taken an easier road for your success, but you haven't. You've taken one where you can sort of sit on your throne and be like, this is mine because I made this, is sort of the vibe I get and what surprises people about you. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you really enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments. See you next time. Bye.